Bear. Hello and welcome to episode 52, which we prepared very nicely of Character Unlock. We put lots of time and effort into making this one a brilliant episode for you guys. We totally didn't record it yesterday, or more specifically, like 4 hours ago.
No, we definitely didn't do that.
So, I'm John, as you can tell, and with me is Brooks, who you probably heard earlier.
You're right, mate.
Brooks, how are you?
I'm all right, buddy. I'm okay. I'm kind of sitting going, tonight's going to be really, dude. My dog just belched at me.
Nice.
Really, dog burps. This is just my Thursday evening. Just dog burps.
Dog burps.
Yeah, I'm looking at going. Well, we kind of said we'd get online quick and get going quick, and we still spent the same amount of time talking bollocks before we started recording.
It's what we do best. We should just, record the whole episode from the start of the call and just treat that as the episode now. More and better information comes out before we actually start the episode.
It does tend to be a bit more coherent at that point, doesn't it?
It's because we're too tired by the time we've done all that to actually talk about the stuff that we want to talk about.
True. But yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. How about you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. It's been a weird week for me because I spent a week away last week with my mum's dog looking after him. So my sleeping pattern's all over the fucking place because my sleeping pattern's based entirely on a small dog's sleeping pattern.
Fair enough.
He doesn't like being on his own, so when you put him to bed at night, if he wakes up in the night and he gets a bit scared, then he doesn't like to let anyone else in the house sleep until someone goes and, comforts him.
Yeah, my dog's pretty similar. Not that she doesn't like to sleep on her own, she just doesn't like people sleeping. So she just wakes everyone up at 3 in the morning and then again at 4. By which point you go, just get on the fucking bed and go to sleep. And then she leaves you alone.
Yeah, pretty much. I woke up one night at 2 in the morning, and he'd managed to get out of the kitchen. I think someone had opened the door and gone to get a drink or something, and wasn't conscious of the fact that he was probably awake and just legged it past and ran upstairs. And I didn't hear him open the bedroom door or jump onto the bed, so I woke up with him just sort of staring at me. But he might have been there for some time. But he'll just stand there and stare at you, waiting for you to open your eyes, and then he will lick you in the face.
Yeah, I like your mum's dog.
It's just really unnerving because you kind of feel a presence. Because I was just lying there asleep and I just thought of something woke me up, just almost as if there was a serial killer breathing on me. And I was just lying there and all of a sudden I just opened one of my eyes. He saw that and then that was it. He just went to town on my face.
Nice. Yeah, nothing with that. Bit of action. It's all good.
So, how was your last week or so been?
It's been all right. I've played some utter fucking shit, mate. Some utter shit. I played some good stuff as well, but man, have I played some utter fucking shit. Apart from that, you know what, mate? It's been pretty quiet in the Brooker house. Because we got a new Halloween film coming out in a couple of weeks, I've kind of forced Maya to sit and watch all the Halloween movies. There are 10 Halloween movies. Yeah.
And there's 2 good ones.
There's 3 good ones. 4 maybe. So
1, 2, and H2O.
1 H2O and then the 2 Rob Zombie ones.
Okay, I suppose.
2 is okay. I don't mind 2. But yeah, there's some fucking god awful Halloween movies. So one of which includes fucking Busta Rhymes kung fu kicking and hiyaring Michael Myers, which just, I'm looking at this going, oh, just fuck you. Yeah, apart from that, yeah, it's been pretty chilled out in our house. we like Halloween's coming, so we're watching a lot of horror films and not playing many games.
Yeah. Well, I've not been playing many games, but that's because I've just been away from my ability to play games. So, for the most part, I've just played Football Manager while I was up in the north.
Fair enough.
And then the game that I'm going to talk about later, I've played for about 7 hours total.
So not only did we do absolutely no planning or preparation for this week's recording, we also haven't really got much to talk about.
Pretty much exactly how it sounds.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it goes.
It's what we do best, which
True.
is why we're going to move on to the news with a bit of a sad note to it to start with, and that beloved game studio Telltale have pretty much shut up shop with massive layoffs of staff, which nobody likes to hear.
No, that really, really fucking sucks. And say what you like about Telltale, I'm not their biggest fan. I don't like to see anybody lose their job, but that really fucking sucks.
They've made some absolutely phenomenal games, and they've been like everything that you could possibly want. Critically acclaimed, loved by fans, amazing IPs to pick up, and some of them of games have been phenomenal. Some of them have had really good stories, but one thing they've not managed, and that's just consistent game sales, which is everything.
Well, it is, especially when the problem they had, and we saw this. Was it earlier this year or late last year when they let 100 staff go, and
Yeah,
that the stories started appearing about how the studio was run and that they're basically, because of the way episodic games are episodic, they're basically in constant crunch. Crunch as a culture sucks in game development. I mean, I've never been a games developer, but just the thought of it, just the 16 to 20 hour days for no extra money, with extra pressure, your boss is breathing down your neck, not seeing your family, all that kind of shit. I can't imagine doing that. Just the idea of it really sucks. But to
yeah,
have that as a constant working environment, because your games are always 3 weeks away from being released.
yeah. That's probably the biggest issue is that their constant turnaround of games. It's not like they're making 1 or 2 episodes and then waiting a little while, or they're making the whole game and then releasing the episodes slowly.
Yeah.
They're releasing those episodes as they're being finished.
Yep.
So it's just a constant state of permanently making games at full pace or beyond full pace.
Well, exactly. And this, at one point, didn't they have to had they had the Game of Thrones game, the Borderlands game, and I believe a season of The Walking Dead all running at the same time.
Yeah,
Which,
as the Batman game, I think had was starting episodes as the one of the other ones was just finishing.
yeah. So I think Guardians kicked off just as Batman finished,
Yep.
and then just as Guardians finished, the next Batman started, or something like that. And in between this, they've had like mid-season style mini games for Walking Dead. It's never ending. And while I applaud the studio and the devs for putting this stuff out, there is a question of dropping quality there, and there is a question of oversaturation, which I think is the biggest problem. When was the last time you bought a Telltale game full price?
I'm gonna be honest, never. I've never bought a full price Telltale game.
I bought Game of Thrones and Tales from the Borderlands full price, and they were the last ones I bought full price. All the others I bought in sale, or at the very least with super cheap, fun bucks.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Their episodic plan doesn't work for me. I'm not super excited to wait for the next episode. I want to get on with it. I want to
Oh,
play the game.
yeah, I want to play the whole game at once. I don't care enough about playing it and then waiting 3 weeks to a month or 2 months in some cases with Batman, for instance,
Yeah.
and then playing the next episode. I wait for the full release on disc that they do, or when it goes into a sale, like the Telltale sale that was on PlayStation when I bought my first PlayStation
Yeah.
4. in that you could get all of The Walking Dead, all Game of Thrones, and Tales from the Borderlands, I think, and it was like £14.
Yep.
Or how I've got all of them again on the Xbox because I completely forgot I had them on PlayStation when they went onto a sale on the PlayStation on the Xbox, and I bought all of them again for like 20, 30 quid, if that.
Yeah.
And I've got Batman on Switch again for like £7. I actually quite liked Batman. I thought it was
I thought
one of the
Batman was
better.
alright. I thought the Bruce Wayne stuff in Batman was really good. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed the Bruce Wayne stuff in Batman. It's
it's it's a difficult balance to get the Bruce Wayne to Batman in Batman,
yeah,
and that it's one of the reasons why most Batman films actually are quite poor because the actor can't balance Bruce Wayne to Batman
no,
because they're supposed to be complete opposite characters.
yeah. But it's it is a real shame. I really wanted Telltale to do well. It really sucks that this has happened just as they're about to release episode 2 of the last season of Walking Dead, because it's quite likely that won't get finished. Although it hasn't officially been cancelled yet. Like they
I
did
think,
very
uh,
quickly cancel season 2 of The Wolf Among Us
yeah,
and the Stranger Things game they were working on,
yeah,
but that no one has officially cancelled The Walking Dead yet.
yeah. I think that they've had a couple of big investors come out of nowhere, and kind of just say, "Here is the money you need to finish the game. Now do it, please."
Yeah, what they're just throwing all their developers off to the wolves. They're going to be able to get people back to finish it. I mean, that's
May
sad to say. Probably yes, because people will be desperate and need a
People need
job.
jobs. Yeah, people need to put food on their tables. They'll do a lot,
Yeah,
and with a bit of luck, there's at least now they know, and the rest of the development community can see these amazing developers that need jobs in 6 months time or something
yeah,
when the final season finishes. So they've got time to kind of find themselves a job while still getting paid, even if they don't really want to finish well, no, they will want to finish the project they're working on because they've lived it for the last 5 years.
yeah, yeah. It's the one good thing about, and it happens every time a studio closes. You get to see like social media fill up with other studios going, "We have work. Come work for us." Yeah, even people like Guerrilla Games who are in Amsterdam. Yeah, we need people, and we will relocate you. Uh, awesome. I hope these people really do land on their feet and end up working in a place that isn't
Yeah,
that fucking horrendous. Because yeah, the stories that are appearing from Telltale that don't make for good working conditions.
yeah. I mean, I occasionally see job vacancies go up for like entry level or internships, and I look at it and I go, that would be amazing if the game's development career path wasn't complete and utter bollocks half the time.
Yeah, I don't have the strength of mind or character to do those kind of hours for absolutely no money.
It's
You
like
know, I'm,
unreasonable hours,
yeah,
fucking shit pay, and you could just like lose your job
yeah,
after 3 months because the studio doesn't make enough money,
yep,
and they're putting out games like, well, we've played a lot of shit games,
yes, yes, we have.
and your money is based entirely on how much you sell your games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as we talked about this the other week when it with the Rocksteady advert. We want people that want to make an 85 plus Metacritic score game. Well, your bonus is clearly going to be tied into that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We want an 85 plus Metacritic score game. The problem is, now that people have seen that, people will probably give it a much worse review just because of that. You'll get the majority of your reviews will be 84s or below.
just to be dicks.
Yeah, they'll go, "Oh yeah, it's an amazing game, best game I've ever played." 84.
Yeah,
Just because they've demanding their game, their people are making them an amazing game.
yeah,
So further to Telltale studio closures, we've got more studio closures in that Capcom Vancouver are being thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Capcom have closed their Vancouver studio because they basically make one thing, and that's Dead Rising.
Yeah,
And the last Dead Rising game did not do well at all.
no. Well, Dead Rising 4 was just poor. It
Yep,
was worse than 3, but 3 was good.
3 was excellent. I really enjoyed 3, and I played through 3 times, I think. You know, just for shits and giggles, I really liked it.
Yeah.
But 4, I couldn't even play. I was so bored.
Yeah. I loved what the Case Zero, which was the prequel to Dead Rising 2. Dead Rising 2 was fucking amazing, and Off the Record was fucking brilliant, where you play Dead Rising 2 but from the perspective of Frank West.
Yeah,
So it's fucking hilarious. But to then go on to Dead Rising 3 with the phenomenal story that 3 had, plus the co-op aspect that was in the game.
yeah,
And then 3 of the 4 DLCs were also really good.
yeah.
But the fourth one, I think, probably it was more of the same as the other ones, where you just go around and do collectibles.
Yeah.
Wasn't great about it. But Dead Rising 4 was just no story. It was just, oh yeah, we'll make a game and just have you go around smacking zombies, but we won't even make that fun.
No. Took the co-op away,
Yep.
which
Well, no,
sucks.
that they had co-op missions.
Yeah, but I wanted to play the game in co-op like I did with
Yeah,
3.
I wanted to just go around and start smacking zombies with, combinable weapons. Just run
Yeah,
around with the glove gun.
yeah,
Just me and you in our pants wearing chicken helmets
yep,
with the glove gun.
exactly. It was fantastic, and there was no need to mess with that formula. Bring Frank West back, absolutely, but don't mess with the formula of Dead Rising 3. And I know, people like different things, but I think in general, Dead Rising 4 wasn't received well at all.
No, no, they kind of went backwards. They made a game that was supposed to be entirely about the fun, and then took away the fun.
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean, I'm guessing that any Dead Rising thing that was being done has just been shelved.
Or there's another studio going to be working on it maybe in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Vancouver didn't actually make the first one, so
True enough.
there's got to be another studio out there somewhere. Maybe Capcom will make some money somewhere else and just go, yeah, we'll open up a new studio. Hopefully, the Vancouver guys find themselves another job in Canada.
Yeah.
There's plenty of decent studios in there.
Oh yeah, there's loads in Canada. I'm sure they'll find their feet. I hope they'll find their feet.
So, a bit of lighter news for everyone, also involving Capcom, is that the Phoenix Wright games are coming back to Switch, but also coming multiplat. So you can get them on your PlayStation, PC, and on your Xbox One.
I don't know why.
Because everybody loves being a lawyer.
No one's going to buy that game.
People will.
People on their Switches will definitely buy that game. No one
I
on
was,
Xbox is going to buy Phoenix Wright.
no, they probably won't. But yeah, the Phoenix Wright trilogy. Everyone wants to play the Phoenix Wright trilogy because it's fucking hilarious. But you're right in that it probably won't sell on any console except for the Switch.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't play Phoenix Wright. It's not my thing, like at all.
No, I'll be honest, it's not really my thing. I played one of them on my 3DS back in the day, and it was okay. It wasn't the game that I thought that it was going to be. It wasn't as fun as everyone is trying to force down my throat it was going to be.
Yeah. No,
But
it's. I just look at the gameplay and go, no, this is not for me at all.
yeah, it's another example of not everyone loves everything.
No.
So when the internet goes crazy for Phoenix Wright, I don't quite understand it, but the same way that when the entire internet goes crazy for Rick and Morty, I don't understand that either.
This is true. No, I don't get that one either. I have to admit.
No, uh, I also don't get South Park, but that's against you as well. So that's kind of
Yeah, I think I get South Park. South Park's kind of my bag. Not something I watch religiously, but I do quite like South Park.
yeah. And final bit of news we've got for people is everything Red Dead related that's come out in the last God knows how many fucking days because it's almost time for release of Red Dead.
Yes, we're a month away from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep, and that means you get to find out just how big the game is. And if you're a PlayStation owner, you better make sure you've got yourself 105 gigs worth of space just so you can install the fucker.
That's fucking insane, isn't it? Absolutely
Yeah,
fucking insane. I mean, I believe, I hope I've got this right. I believe the way it works is that
yeah,
PlayStation downloads all the files and then installs them. So actually, once it's gotten rid of what is essentially temp files, it will be about 55 gig.
yeah.
I mean, still, that's a massive fucking game.
Oh yeah, it's basically a double-sided Blu-ray that it's pulling itself off of and then installing it.
And
Or if
those numbers are before day one patch.
yeah. So if you've got it on Blu-ray, or rather if you buy it, probably best to get it on disc. Otherwise, you've got yourself a 50 gig download off the internet,
Yeah.
plus your installation time, plus probably a 50 gig HDR pack.
Yep. Oh no, I think that number is actually for the 4K
Oh,
version.
okay.
I believe. I've not. I, this news kind of appeared today, and
Yeah.
I've been a bit busy today. Work was a bit manic today.
I kind of hope that it's not including of the size of the HDR stuff because the original Red Dead was fucking huge as it was,
Yeah.
and that was just in high def.
Did the original? It was only on one disc though, wasn't it?
It was one Blu-ray disc. But it was definitely. I'm pretty sure it was two on Xbox. There was an installation disc back when they did that on Xbox 360,
Yeah.
where you install all of the fucking texture packs and then play off the disc.
Yeah. So even then, max it would be 20 gig.
Yeah. All right. So it's a dual-skinned Blu-ray plus your to get your download, but at the same time, does the PlayStation do pull off the disc and download off the internet?
I don't know how the PlayStation OS works.
The Xbox does it that way at least.
Yeah.
So with the Xbox, you'll put your disc in, you'll pull your 50 gig down off the disc, and then it'll also download the day one 5 to 10 gig patch that comes out for no reason.
Yeah. And then the patch that you'll need to play Red Dead Online when it comes out.
Yep. With the Red Dead beta, which will probably feature a similar thing to when the beta for GTA Online was, where if you played it, you got rewarded with a load of fun bucks because it was fucking terrible.
Yeah. I mean, Red Dead will be installed permanently on my machine. I've bought it digitally, so it will just be there. So I can just quickly chuck on the online bit just to jump on and have a look around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just go around and hog tie people to the train tracks and then run away.
Exactly. That's literally my plan.
And by you doing it, what I mean is everyone will be doing it to you because you won't know have a way of stopping them.
True.
You will be the new fish.
Yep. And I haven't spent any money on one of those super duper editions that give me a load of free stuff online.
Like a titanium rope and a horse with the biggest of testicles.
Well, you say that. You have to just if you go around on a hot day, maybe it will have the biggest of testicles.
On the cold day, it will still have the biggest of testicles. They'll just be much smaller.
You got to give Rockstar their credit. Only Rockstar will decide that they need to put bollock physics in their games.
Yeah. If you're going to be running around, you're going to know if you've got yourself a male horse because their balls will be flapping everywhere.
Yeah. Be sagging when it gets hot and all nice and shrunken and tight when it gets cold.
Yep.
Excellent.
As long as they don't add the Far Cry mating season for the horses.
Oh, God. Just dear God.
Yep. Cow humping.
But yeah, some of the fucking news that came from Red Dead, though, like, I really like some of it. Like, bollock physics, I really like. It just seems daft. And things like, if you kill somebody, their family will hold a grudge and maybe chase you down, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm a
as
fan
long
of.
as they don't like do a crazy. Oh, by the way, you've killed half the map,
Yeah,
so now the other half of the map are permanently going to be shooting at you whenever you go near them.
that's just like
That's just gonna.
Frankenstein, just people chasing you with pitchforks and torches.
Yep. There's just gonna be loads of dead people.
Yeah,
There is gonna be no one in my Red Dead world. They're gonna
no,
just be corpses.
that's when Undead Nightmare 2 happens.
The only thing that's going to be happening around my Red Dead single player story will be just vultures in the
Yeah,
sky permanently because there's just going to be corpses everywhere.
I'm not entirely sure I'm a fan of the survival stuff that they're putting into it though. Apparently, you have to kind of micromanage yours and your gang's food, make sure it's fresh.
And by that you mean everyone's going to starve except for me.
Pretty much. But apparently, it's like if you leave food for too long, it will start. Or if you carry skins for too long, it will start rotting and attracting animals. No,
Surely that's how you get more food.
I don't know, man. I don't really want to fight and kill a mountain lion to eat because he's likely to eat me. I remember those fuckers from Red Dead 1.
No, no, the ones that were fuckers were the stealth bears.
Yes.
You'd just be casually walking along and you don't know anything about it and then "Rrr," bear.
I'm sorry, and then what?
I'm not doing it again. If you want it again, you've got the ability to make it happen twice.
Oh, it's going to happen a lot. Now that you've done
Forever. Stealth bears. Everyone remembers the stealth bears. They know exactly how it is.
Yeah. Obviously, I can't make a judgment. I'm a month away from playing it, but I'm really excited. But then I hear stuff like that, and I'm like, that sounds like it's really going to piss me off.
Oh yeah, it's definitely that.
A bit like playing Dead Rising 2, and you get dead into the game, and now, oh, for fuck's sake, I have to go and give Zombrex to a little child. Fuck her. Let me just have fun.
Yep.
We'll see. I'm still excited about Red Dead 2. I am really excited about Red Dead 2. I am so fucking busy in October. I don't know when I'm going to find time to play it, but I'm really excited for Red Dead.
At some point, you'll play it at some point between, um, Christmas and next Christmas.
Yeah. Book a day off over Christmas, over back end of November or something, just sit and veg with Red Dead for a bit. That may actually be what I do. There's a thought.
Yep. You can play it at some point between Red Dead Redemption 2 and then Undead Nightmare 2.
Yeah. Is that all our news?
Yeah, I think so. So it kind of moves us on to what we've been playing, and unfortunately it's not Red Dead Redemption 2 yet,
No.
but it will be soon. You've played a lot more than I have, so Brooks, go for it.
So should I start with the good stuff or the shit stuff?
Well, we started the episode with shit stuff, so let's just carry that on, just keep going shit, and then end on a high note.
Cool. So I have played not one, but two fucking X-Files games.
Why?
No.
I know you like the X-Files, but why? Why would you do that?
Well, I was supposed to be recording an episode of the X-Cast with Tony on Monday that was going to be all about the X-Files video games. So we're going to do an episode on each game because they're set at they're made and set at different points in the X-Files timeline. So they were going to he was going to get to the end of season 3, and then he was going to release the episode about the video game that's set at the end of season 3, and so on. The problem was we didn't actually end up recording the podcast. So not only have I played these fucking terrible games, there was no need for me to play them. So as quickly as I possibly fucking can, one of these games is a PS1 game. It's just called The X-Files, the game. And the other one is a PS2 game called The X-Files Resist or Serve. So the X-Files, the PS1 one, you don't even play as the main characters in the game. You play as rando dude who has been tasked with finding the main characters from the game
Oh, okay.
because they've gone missing.
So you're not even the main character in your own story.
No. So, and this when you play it, when you watch it, you can clearly see that this is done. It's been done like that because the character, the David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson have clearly got appearance things in their contracts, but not starring role things in their contracts for this game.
Yep.
So they've just appeared, done their 12 lines, and fucked off. The problem with this game, right, it's so bad. It's a point and click FMV game. And,
Yeesh.
well, I've spoken to a lot of people that were like, "Oh, I really enjoyed it when it came out." I don't remember. I definitely played it, but I don't remember if I liked it or not. I'm almost certain I would have fucking hated it, and I'll tell you why. Because it's terrible. But also,
Yeah.
but it came out the same time as Grim Fandango. Now, if you're going to make a point and click game, the thing to not do is release it the same time Grim Fandango comes out. Because Grim Fandango is the fucking granddaddy of point and click games. There's no way. I believe the game actually lost out like best adventure game or something to Grim Fandango. But it's just, mate, it's so awful. And even by like PS1 standards, it's pretty terrible. But because it's point and click FMV, so basically you've got like set things that you can ask and get answers, which basically means that these poor actors have sat there and had to stand in the same position and give 12 different answers to things, and then it's loaded onto the disc and it's selected depending on what you ask. It feels so clunky, so terrible, and so eye rapey. The problem with the sequel is better-ish.
It sounds hard to make it worse.
Well, the problem with the sequel is when I first started playing it, I'll be honest, I played it on an emulator. I attached my PlayStation controller to the Mac and I played it on an emulator because I'm not getting old consoles out for this shit. After I started playing it, I had to go and double check when it came out and what system it came out on. Because this thing came out on PS2.
Right.
Right? It looks like Resident Evil 1.
Yeah.
Worse, it plays like Resident Evil 1. It's just fucking awful. It's got that same... It is a survival horror game. And to be fair, the X-Files does fit into a survival horror game like that quite well. But what it doesn't do, it's not done any favours by having that same shitty static camera bollocks that Resident Evil 1 had. The terrible fucking inventory system, terrible story, just awful acting. Although I will give them that, at least because you play as the main characters and you get a little bit of cockiness out of David Duchovny, it's quite funny, and I did laugh a couple of times. I didn't hate my time with it, but it was a bit shit. Yeah, that's my bad.
It sounds quite bad.
It was awful. Luckily, the X-Files game, I think, lasted me 3.5 hours, and I think Resist or Serve lasted me about 6. So I was done with them quite quick, and I did kind of run through. You know, these are not taxing games. You can figure your way out of them pretty quickly. So I didn't have to work too hard to get them finished.
Yeah, I kind of suppose that's the half of the point. Otherwise, it'd be completely... Well, why would anyone play something like that if it wasn't going to be short as fuck?
Because they're X-Files fans. You know, being one myself, I'm not being funny. My X-Files fans will do almost anything to have something X-Files near them. It's bizarre.
You all suck as people.
We do. But yeah, those were my shit games for this week or this episode.
Just this episode. Unfortunately, it's going to be a lot more in the future.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what have you been playing then, buddy?
So I've been playing because I've not had an awful lot of time to play games, especially new ones, and it just so happened to be the one time of the year where a new game comes out every single year, and that goes by the name of FIFA. So, being an Xbox owner and EA Access member, I've played the start of the journey, and that's about it because that's all the time I've kind of had. So it's the typical 10-hour trial of FIFA. Um, you start off by playing the opening match to try and get you into the grips of the controls, and they've changed some of the mechanics, including the shooting mechanic, to make it slightly more difficult to score goals, but it's still really easy to score goals. And you will find when you play against people online, which I probably won't this time around because I don't plan on buying FIFA this year. I'll
But
get it.
I have heard that it's the best FIFA ever this year.
They're all the best FIFA ever this year.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't know. I don't fucking play FIFA, but one of the
Yeah,
podcasts I listened to, they did kind of say that this doesn't just feel like an incremental update. It feels like a good update on FIFA. It feels like they've actually put effort in.
I'll admit it does feel better than previous FIFAs. This doesn't feel like, oh, they've just found an old thing that they had in an older game that they then took out when they changed the engine or changed something else. They couldn't have this in it, so they decided to bring it back in a later one to make it seem like it was a new one. But this, like I said, the shooting mechanics changed. But by the time I get around to playing online, everyone will have worked out how the shooting mechanic works, and they'll have found a way of making it so that they can score goals all the time because of they've worked out the new shooting mechanic. So it's a swings and roundabouts kind of situation for me. Is that because I don't plan on owning it, I'll get it when it goes free again in the vault after because I'm gonna rent. Well, no, rather I am renting it from Boomerang. It's going to arrive tomorrow, with a bit of luck, and I will play through the journey just so I've got the story complete because I've done the first chapter. I think they're called.
Okay.
Yeah, the first chapter where you play as um, all three of the main characters in their little prologue. So you play as Alex Hunter, the guy from all of them. You play as his friend uh, Danny Williams, who is kind of one step behind you in his career.
Okay.
So he's moved. He was at a club in the championship that you went on loan to, and then when you moved back to your parent club, you then left the following season, and he replaced you at your club, and you had to
Charming.
try and yep, you had to save his career in the last one. But now he's there. If you did save his career, obviously he's there at the club, working hard, playing well. And then also you get to play as Alex's sister Kim in the women's international because she's qualified for the US squad in the World Cup qualifying qualifiers
Okay.
stuff. But that's as far as I am with the story. Not any further. From what I've played of it so far, the Ultimate Team's going to be more of the same, where you spend all of your week trying to get yourself into a position where you earn enough money to then spend on one player to then do the exact same thing again for the next week while trying to. And it's ridiculous because you're going to be playing some 40 plus matches a week, plus another 40 matches at the weekend. It's another game that's just going to take far too much time away from anyone who wants to play anything deep and meaningful, including Red Dead in the future.
Yeah,
Because
it's one of those games, though, isn't it? It's like when you buy Battlefield or Call of Duty or Madden. It's for a large portion of people, not a large portion of people that play games, but for a large portion of people that buy those specific games,
yeah,
that's their game.
yeah,
And we've all done that. I used to be the same with Battlefield. I used to go, well, I'm not going to fucking buy anything else because I will gladly spend the year playing Battlefield Online. And I fucking did.
yep,
You know, lost months and months of my life to Battlefield Online and didn't play anything else. You know,
yeah.
if that's how you want to play your games, I think that's fine. I don't get any enjoyment from doing that. Not anymore.
No, not anymore. I've fallen out of love with pretty much every game that I used to play religiously. I could play FIFA back in the day. I could do play every single match, not simulate any matches, play every match, and I would go 10 years into the game,
Yeah.
like a year. So I'd be like back in the day of like FIFA 2004, 2005. I was in like 2025. There were no living players left. They would all gone on and retired. It was that far into the game. I just can't do that anymore. And I
No.
could do that while still playing loads of other games. But now I only have enough time to finish a story of a game, finish a campaign. In some cases, those games are a lot longer than others. Like Red Dead's campaign's probably going to be what 30 plus hours.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be playing Red Dead 2 up until this time next year.
Yeah, I'll probably have it finished or at least most of the way done by Christmas. But that's because I can put a bit more time into it than you can.
Yeah.
But it's gonna fall around at the same time. There's other games going to be coming out. There's other stuff happening around. It's it's another game on my list of games to play that I need to finish, plus all of the other games that I've got on my PlayStation that I've not started,
Yeah.
including God of War
Yeah.
and the game that I've sent back to Boomerang because I wanted to get a different game quite urgently, and then it didn't arrive in time. And other
Yeah.
games that I've tried to rent from Boomerang and then not been lucky enough to be on the list of game people to get one.
Yeah. You do need to get God of War played before Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah,
just because.
because of the obvious crossover.
Well, no, it's not that. It's you kind of. I would be surprised if you got to the end of that game and it wasn't in your top three of the year.
Yeah,
You know, to
I'm.
to be honest, I reckon yours and my top three won't be that much different this year if you play God of War.
Yeah. Well, I think our top three is probably only really different at the moment because of the fact I've not updated mine to include Spider-Man. Because
Yeah, I'll get to
Spider,
I'll get
yeah,
to Spider-Man in a minute.
Spider-Man is in my top three currently, but it's only in my top three based entirely on the fact that I finished the story. And even though I said on the last episode along with Lee, and that I don't know if I liked it or not, and I'm guessing you're probably in the same boat now that you've also finished it, that you're kind of looking at it going, you liked it, but at the same time you didn't like other parts of it, so you can't really make a decision on positive or negative on how you feel about the overall game. Story-wise, loved.
Yeah, yeah,
As other things.
yeah. I, yeah, we'll talk about Spider-Man in a minute.
Yeah. But I think that if I was to go into my top games, if I could find the notes that I made, like I don't, I'm, you know what? I'm thinking I've probably fucking lost them since I ran an update on my phone. Yeah, they were on my character unlock set of notes, and that's empty now. Fuck.
Nice.
Oh,
See, I will have to go through my. Luckily, I've been every game I've finished, I've tagged on Twitter, so it wouldn't take me too long.
I think Gravel's on my list of top games this year.
Okay.
I liked Gravel. I keep meaning to go back onto playing it every so often. It's really simple, stupid fun. But Far Cry is definitely on my list.
Yeah, I think Far Cry probably in my top five.
It's the first Far Cry game where I've actually finished the story and not got so far and then realized where the story's going and kind of get bored.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
But then I did fall in love with Faith. And I know
Yeah,
that's the whole point of the
I
game is
think
you're supposed to kind of
you're kind of
fall in love.
supposed to.
But you fell in love with Ryan Reynolds.
I did. He was awesome. And the other brother whose name I forget, who looks like Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. uh,
Oh God, dude, I played some crap this year, man.
I've played some fucking crap this year. You can't beat me for crap.
I
I
played two fucking X-Files games this year, man. I can beat you for crap.
I played that game that I can't even remember the fucking name of it was anymore because I don't have it on my notes.
I also played
It's
Vampire, which should have been really good and turned out to be absolute balls.
It's got a New Game Plus now, hasn't it?
It's got New Game Plus, and it's got like a, I don't know what you'd call it, like a story mode where the
Yeah.
combat doesn't matter, and you can just go around and get all the story bits and enjoy the story. To be honest, I might revisit it at some point because you could probably finish it in about 6 to 8 hours and enjoy it if you didn't have to do some of the really shit combat.
Yeah. I'm actually
Oh,
kind of annoyed about the fact that I've lost my notes from the character unlock stuff on my phone. Maybe the
oh shit!
passwords.
A Way Out was this year.
Yeah, that's definitely in my list of
I
games that I
really
love.
liked A Way Out, man.
I don't care what anyone says. It was probably the most fun I've had playing a co-op game with you. And I
Yeah,
don't know whether it was just the fact that it was me playing with you or if it was actually a fun game and I was playing with you.
I think it was. It must have been a fun game because our buddy Colum uh, went and got the platinum for it on his own,
Wow.
which meant he was sitting there with two controllers playing that game. I'm not sure I've got the fucking patience for that,
No, I definitely don't.
but yeah, must have been good. So yeah, FIFA.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm so distracted by the fact that we moved on to other things. Yeah, FIFA kind of good this year. I'll probably talk about it in an episode next year when I actually get a proper chance of playing it, or in a couple of weeks if I can be asked to finish the journey while I'm renting it.
Fair enough.
And then I'll just talk about how I've played the story to FIFA and completed it again. Brooks, you're good or indifferent?
Yeah. It's worth noting. My game challenge actually came to an end with those two X-Files games.
Yay.
So game 26, which was my target, was to finish 26 games this year. I finished game number 26 was the first X-Files game. Actually, no, it's the second one because I played the second one first. Anyway, yeah, my good. So I finished Spider-Man,
Yeah. Pete Spoderman.
Pete Spider-Man. Uh, yeah, I really like Spider-Man mostly. So I did the thing I do on all of these big open world games. So I started trying to play cleanup, and I played cleanup. I started quite early on actually. When you like unlock the landmarks, I was like, I'm going to fly around and have a look around. I did the towers, and I did the landmarks. I was like, this is kind of fun. But the problem was that about halfway through the game, I went, I don't know what I was doing. I think I must have been playing on like a Sunday afternoon or something. I think Maya and Nikita had gone out. I had maybe half an hour. I was like, well, I'm not going to bother starting a story mission. I'll just do a bit of cleanup. And I ended up cleaning up quite a fair amount and spending, over the next couple of days, quite a fair amount of time playing cleanup. But the problem was, like, I had one area where I spent maybe 2 hours clearing stuff up and collecting things and doing challenges and doing research labs. And you clear everything off the map that you've got. And at this point, I'm not quite at the end of Act 2. And then you look at the map, and in the list on the left-hand side of the screen, it tells you everything you've done. There are still 3 sections that are locked, that you can't see. So you've got backpacks that you have to collect, research bases you have to do trials on, all this other bollocks. And there are about 12 of these things per area.
Yep.
But you get, I cleaned up and it was like, I haven't unlocked everything. And then I moved on, I finished Act 2, and instantly 2 more things were unlocked. And now the fucking map's filled up again. And this is where my problem started with Spider-Man. Now it looks like a fucking Ubisoft game.
Yep.
Now it looks like Assassin's Creed. And I do not want to be doing this. I don't want my enjoyment to be predicated on cleaning up hours and hours and hours of shit side quests. And some of the side quests are kind of cool. You know, the character Tombstone appears in the game, and his side quest is fucking great.
Yes, it is. And the final boss fight is actually fucking hard.
It's really hard. Like
Probably one of the harder ones of all of them.
it is tough as balls. It is really, really difficult. But I was really enjoying it up until this point, and then I got that same thing I get it with Far Cry, get it with Assassin's Creed, get it with Watch Dogs. You just go when you look at the
Yeah,
map. You look
yeah.
at the
You look.
map and you just get disheartened. The fact you haven't actually fucking done anything yet.
It's like you look at the map and you just see just a wall of crap, and you can't actually see the map itself anymore. All you see is just icons.
Yeah, and the thing that bugged me about it was the fact that it didn't need it. You know, you could have made each thing like, okay, have your collectibles, have your backpacks. The backpacks are cool, and there's a cool thing to do with it. But have like a couple of decent sized side missions for these things, and not just be collectibles. Because now you're just filling up space and filling up time. I got to the end of Act Two, and I went, you know what? No, I'm not fucking doing these anymore. And I sat and I did just the story missions for the last act, and it was much, much improved.
Yep.
You know, the pacing was perfect. Obviously, I'd upgraded myself enough to not really have many problems outside of the final boss, but it was, you know, it was fun. It was frantic. I really enjoyed it. And now I finished the story, and fuck me, the end of that game is just insane.
Oh yeah. Bear.
Now I finished, I don't feel the need to go back to it. Like, not at all. To a point, you know, and I'm kind of put off of it enough to sit there and go, I'm glad I didn't get overhyped and buy all the DLC. I'm glad I didn't get overhyped and pay, you know, 60 quid for this game, because I don't know if I'd ever put it on again. It was fun, but I don't feel the need to turn it on anymore.
No, you finished the story. You've probably done a bit of cleanup. Yes, I don't own the game anymore. I've already moved it on to the next owner of Spider-Man, and I will possibly consider picking it back up again in the future when all the DLC's live on it.
Yeah.
But then now I'm thinking about it, that's just going to fill the map up even more.
Yep. And just the thought, and I had this with Assassin's Creed games as well. And you got to remember, I do still consider myself a bit of an Assassin's Creed super fan.
Yeah,
But I do sit there going, I try and balance how I play, and I try and do a bit of story, bit of side mission, bit of story, bit of side mission. But then because all these side missions and things are tied into your level, they're tied into your weapons, they're tied into your upgrades. So you want to do a little bit more because you want to be a little bit better for your next boss fight or your next big encounter. And
yeah,
then, but the problem is, you then get to a point where you don't want to do that anymore. So you finish the story, look at the map and go, I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to clean up. I don't want to collect feathers and backpacks and pigeons and just fuck off.
yeah, pigeons.
I know open world is like the thing, and we've just been talking about how much we're both excited for Red Dead Redemption 2, which is going to be the biggest of all open worlds. It's just going to be fucking mental. But
The open world game of open world games.
mate, sometimes I'm happy. I don't need a hub area. I don't need open world. Just a nice linear story. Sometimes is all I need. You know, I'm begging for the days of Call of Duty and its 5 hour corridor campaign where I don't have to fuck around chasing pigeons around buildings.
Yeah, you say that now, you're gonna miss chasing pigeons when you're playing the next Call of Duty game where there's no story to it and it's just more battle royale
Yeah, true.
with pigeons.
Yeah. But yeah, Spider-Man was fun. It's top five for the year. I don't know if it's top three yet. And I know a lot of people absolutely adore that game and will be listening to me saying that, going, oh, fuck you, you've got no idea what you're talking about. But it didn't do anything for me once we got to the point that I was just looking at overfilled map.
Yep.
Have you got any other games to talk about?
Well, I wanted to talk about a game that I got from Boomerang, but the problem is it's a game that the previous owner has not looked after.
Oh shit,
It doesn't work.
that sucks.
Yeah, I put it in the disk tray. The disk tray recognized the game that it was, and when I pressed to load it up, it comes up saying an error has occurred. So I was like, oh, shit. Okay. Tried it a second time, and it loaded the game up. And then I started the career mode, and it comes up and says, here's your character creation screen, create your character. Got most of the way through the character creation, and then it just bummed me out and just said that disk read error. Close software and eject.
Oh
Wipe the
shit.
disk, and it's like wipe the disk down and try again. So I did that. Same place again. Boots me out. So I can't talk about this one.
Oh.
Sent an email to Boomerang, and I'm waiting on a response. And they'll probably say, "Oh, that's really annoying. Send it back, and we'll send you another one."
Yeah, they're usually pretty good. I mean, there's not much they can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, all they can do is send me another one and take this one out of circulation because it's fucked.
Yeah.
Or they'll do that laser clean.
Yeah.
But I grew up thinking Blu-ray discs don't scratch, and
You've got to work hard to scratch one of those fucking things. Like, you've got to take your car keys to it.
exactly, which is makes me wonder why the fuck this game is unplayable because it's a fucking Blu-ray. Some arsehole has gone real to town on this.
I don't know, mate. Excuse me. I will never understand how people think it's okay to treat shit like that, whether it's theirs or not. And this is why I'm really so quite anal about not lending my Blu-rays out to people, because I've lent them to like people very, very close to me, and they've come back looking like they've been used as ashtrays.
Yeah,
What the fuck are you doing to my disc?
I've had ashtrays that look better than this disc.
Yeah,
It honestly looks like they just left it on the side and just used it as a fucking coaster.
it makes me sad thinking people still do that.
It's just awful because it's a game that not many people will ever consider picking up and playing.
You're being very cryptic. Are you going to tell us what it is?
Nope.
Oh, fair
I'm
enough.
saving it for a future episode when I actually get a chance to play it.
Yeah.
But not many people are going to want to play this game. It's a very niche market in the first place. But yeah, someone just decided to scratch the disc up and then send it back.
Yeah.
I don't know if they felt bad about the game and thought no one else should want to play it, but that's for me to fucking decide, not you.
Yeah. No, mate, I don't. I still have like horrific memories of like going around to friends' houses now, and they got their PlayStation, like their PS1s, and just stacks of discs at the box. They just fall off their TVs and just end up all over the floor and just get trodden all over. And I'm like, treat your shit with some fucking respect. No,
The
you
people who've
cannot
got
borrow my fucking Resident Evil director's cut because you're not doing that to it, you cunt.
it's like the people who take everything out of the cases and put them in those CD wallets.
Yeah.
There's just like the big zip on the front, and it's like 50 CDs in the wallet in the thing.
I know people that do that with their films.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, mate. It bums me out.
It's just
I know you
How-
can't. Most people can't see it when they come into my house because my Blu-ray collection is not on the ground floor. But I take quite a lot of pride in my Blu-ray collection. I want to see those fucking boxes. But I know at least one person that used to do it because they didn't have room for all those films, so they bought the film and then just binned the box.
what?
What the fuck are you doing? Jesus Christ! These are the people that things like iTunes and Google Play were invented for.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Or the people who like to rip the stuff off the disc and then,
Yeah.
stick it on a fucking NAS drive. Bastards. Just buy it a second time.
Yeah.
Or don't buy it on disc in the first place if you
Yeah.
don't ever if you're not going to watch the fucker.
I say
Ah.
just do like me and buy Deadpool on Blu-ray and then buy it on iTunes and then have a
And then
Flickster
a
copy.
steelbook.
And I have far too many copies of Deadpool movies.
I've just got the super duper cut 4K with digital copy.
Yeah.
It's a 4-disc set.
Yes, yeah, my steelbook's 4 discs. I'm like, I don't need this.
I don't need to have the other 2 discs.
No.
Like I may watch the non-extended cut once or twice in the future
Have you watched the
because
Super Duper cut yet?
I have. I
I'm not.
loved it.
I'm not a fan.
Really?
Really,
I,
I'm not a
I,
fan.
there were some scenes that were a bit
The
pointless.
the
I'll give it
extended
that.
the extended fight scenes at the beginning, I
Yeah.
thought were great. But actually, I think the majority of jokes that have changed don't land as well as they do in the theatrical.
No, you're right. There were some times when I was like telling the next joke ahead and then it was something else.
Yeah,
And I did quite like the fact that there was a different joke because it was something new for me to watch. But
yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm not saying it's bad. Um,
I'll,
I think I
I'll
prefer the theatrical cut.
yeah. Well, I definitely have watched the theatrical cut again because I have the Google Play version, and while I was in
Yeah,
the north, I decided to watch on Google Play.
yeah, fair enough.
There. So yeah, Deadpool 2 good.
Yeah. So you haven't got another game to talk about because scratch disc. Shall I finish off with my last game of the day
Yeah.
then? So I'm not going to talk very much about it, mainly because A, spoilers, and B, well, frankly, more spoilers. I sat and played through the first episode of Life is Strange 2 yesterday.
Awesome.
Mate, it's good. Like, it's really good.
But it's not Life is Strange 1?
Uh, well, to be fair, episode 1 of Life is Strange 1 was not Life is Strange.
No.
It did improve by quite a margin as the episodes went on. I think the guys that don't nod realize that they have big shoes to fill making a sequel. And I do think, as much as it works, I think they've picked excuse me, I think they've gone for the low hanging fruit when it comes to the emotional pulls in it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, because what they do very, very well. But it almost feels like it's been done so they can piss off half the population of the world.
Well, the emotional pull was right there in Captain Spirit.
Yeah,
Like the whole point and the whole story of Captain Spirit was one massive emotional drain on you.
yeah. So Captain Spirit. I'm at the end of episode 1 now. I replayed Captain Spirit yesterday as well because I wanted to 100% all the little tasks you get before I start the game. And it says, obviously, we will meet Chris in Life is Strange 2. I'm at the end of episode 1 and I have not met Chris yet. So
Okay.
I assume he will come back at some point.
This is where it's like the end of the last episode, and he's just
Yeah.
like a minor character who just appears out of nowhere.
But there is, it follows the same kind of tracks as the first one. So if someone accidentally discovers a power and things, shit goes wrong. It's very, let's say, politically charged. It's got a lot of pull in it, and it does. I will admit, so you kind of go through these games, and I try to, especially with Life is Strange, because I know how it plays out. So when you're given a choice, I try to do the right thing, but I also try to not spend too long thinking about it, because
Yeah.
you could tie yourself up in fucking circles. No matter what you do in Life is Strange, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. There's no two ways about it. So I try to be the good guy, but I try to make the game flow naturally, and I like my decisions to be as natural as possible.
To quote the captain in SWAT, sometimes doing the right thing ain't doing the right thing.
Well, and it is very much that. But what I mean by that is it's. So you about, and I'm not going to spoil any story, so don't worry. I wouldn't do that. It's Life is Strange. I would never fucking do that. But there is a point where something happens to you and your character, and the next choice you're given, you can't help, or I couldn't help, instead of trying to be the good guy, or instead of trying to do the right thing, or instead of trying to not think about it too much, I instantly acted emotionally, and just, you know, for reasons. The only reason was because emotions. I lashed out in the game, and you get to, after you've done it, you know instantly, I should not have fucking done that. You know you're so badly fucked, but you couldn't help it. You had to do it. And I think this is the beauty in Life is Strange. So obviously it's got 4 more episodes to go. Unless they're lightning fast workers, there's no way it hits my top 3 of the year this year, because it ain't going to be finished this year.
Yeah.
But episode 1, a lot of setup, a lot of it's not the greatest, but I really did like it. And if you're playing Life is Strange, or if you plan on playing Life is Strange, I would say, now that it's gotten big, Life is Strange 1 kind of had a cult following until it finished, and people like you and me sat there telling everybody to play it. But because of that, now everyone's playing Life is Strange 2. I think avoiding spoilers for Life is Strange 2 is going to be tough as the months go on.
Yeah.
So
Fortunately, I get paid in 2.5 hours, so I can buy Life is Strange 2, because I completely forgot to buy it when you were talking about it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's episode 1 is really good. I done all of the achievements. So the achievements are similar to Life is Strange and Before the Storm. So it's like photos or graffiti, stuff like that. This one is, well, there's 2 types. There's a drawing. In every episode, you will sit down and do a drawing, and you have to sit and do it. And there's collectibles. And I went through, I'd done both drawings in episode 1 and all the collectibles, and I think I was still done in 2.5 hours. And I didn't rush through. I clicked on everything. What was interesting, actually, Maya was sat behind me. I was sat on the floor in front of the TV playing, and she was sitting in my seat, the bitch, with her table doing some schoolwork. And she kept looking up. She couldn't concentrate on her work because she was too busy watching what is essentially an interactive film. She was hooked. The story is very, very good. It's it's one to keep an eye on, and definitely one to play. I'm really looking forward to playing more, but at the same time, I'm not sure my little heart can take what I know is coming.
So, I think that more or less covers all we have to talk about,
Yeah, pretty much.
which means it's recommendation time. Brooker.
Do you want to go first? Because then I'll recommend the opposite one to whatever you recommend.
Okay, I'm going to go completely left field, and I'm going to recommend something that I have a minor interest in just because the idea sounds cool. And I'm going to go with the Friday the 13th game, which is coming on PlayStation Plus.
Yes, that's on Tuesday.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that, because I know it's bad, kind of putting off playing it, because
Yeah.
the developers need the money, really, but because it's multiplayer only, I was kind of, no, I don't really want to spend money and not play it. So I'm quite stoked to get it for free. I will be playing that a little bit next week, I think.
But asymmetric multiplayer games always sound cool. And it'll be interesting going into it knowing that the game is quite old and the only people left playing it will be ones who are a lot better at it than me.
Yes.
But it going free means it's the perfect time to pick it up because there might be a lot of other people playing it as it's gone free.
Yep. That's kind of my hope as well. Yeah, it does look like fun. Cool. Then I think my recommendation then will be Overcooked on Games of Gold, which I think is also next Tuesday.
Yep.
Well, it might be Monday, because they just do like the first day of the month, don't they?
Yeah, they're first of the month type thing. So maybe in the near future, me and you will have played one or both of these games together.
That could be kind of cool. That would be cool. I'm hoping to play some Overcooked with Maya, actually, because I think she'd really enjoy it.
Yeah. I tell you what, from what I played at Overcooked 2, fucking brilliant game. And I'm glad I can now own Overcooked 1 on the Xbox, at least.
Yeah.
And then at some point in the future, it means I could play Overcooked 2.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a half decent selection in games for Gold on PlayStation Plus this month or
Yeah,
next month.
I mean it's no Destiny 2, but
You say that I fucking installed I don't. Well, no, I bought in inverted commas Destiny 2. I've not fucking done anything with it.
no.
It's just sat there, taking up space in my library. I've not even installed it. I was too busy playing Spider-Man.
There are places that you can actually get the legendary edition of Destiny 2 second year,
Yeah.
whatever it's called, Forsaken Legendary. So that's all of the content for less than 40 quid right now. So it's like not even 2 weeks old.
Yeah. I'd I'd like to give it a go. Like when we played Destiny 1 together, it was great, but I can't justify spending money on that game.
No.
I
Wait
just can't.
until like 2 weeks before. Um, excuse me. Wait until like 2 weeks before Destiny 3 comes out, and then when it goes super cheap, and then you will be able to finish it, all of the game in those 2 weeks because it's not a lot of content.
No. Fair enough. Yeah, I might give it a go at some point. I don't know. Like I say, with Halloween coming up, I wouldn't mind getting a couple of horror games in. I'd really like to play Until Dawn again. Because Until Dawn was a lot of fun. I really quite fancy that one.
You know what you need? You need a PSVR.
No, no,
Just play through Resident Evil on VR again.
no, I'm good. Never again. But yeah,
Uh,
I think that's us done, mate, I reckon.
cool. So we'll sign off as usual. Brooker, where can people find you?
You can find me over on Twitter. I am at Brooker411, where I just get loud and sweary and angry about many and varied things.
Yes, yes, you do.
I mean, not
Uh,
as much as I used to, though.
you've calmed
I'm
down a little bit.
well. I'm trying to keep things a little bit positive, and I am quite proactively removing people from my feed who piss me off with their negative bullshit. But not only that, I'm at work 8 hours a day and have zero access to social media, which kind of means that when I come home, I sit trying to go through it, and because of the mess that is my timeline at that point, I can't be asked. I'd much rather watch a film than sit and
Yeah.
argue with social media. So yeah, I mean, I am there, and if you message me, I reply, but I don't do half as much on social media as I used to.
It's easier to catch us on a weekend.
Yeah, much easier.
I'm the John underscore CU on Twitter, and on Xbox Live I'm Long Dong Silver, and for Lee's benefit, Machine King 90 on PlayStation. If you're not interested in us as individuals, you can catch Character Unlock on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, MySpace, LinkedIn. Other places are available.
Whether or not we're there, it's a different matter.
They exist. We might not be there, but they still exist. And we're done. So say goodnight, Brooks.
Yeah, good night, buddy.